Hola comunidad de disruptores de ISD, bienvenidos nuevamente al podcast de ISD, donde exploramos los límites de la innovación, desafiamos lo convencional y nos adentramos en la mente de los disruptores que están cambiando el mundo.
Today we have a very special guest, and we are going to do this special interview in English. So far we have Portuguese, Spanish usually, and today is in English, so our conversation can flow. He does speak Spanish, but we want you to get the best out of his experience, his journey, and I admire this person because one of the things that he always emphasizes that you gotta take risk to achieve great things. So today we have with us here at Innovation Smart District, the community for disruptors, we have Soren Azorian. So, who is Soren Azorian?
Glad to be here. Thanks for all the complimentary conversations. My name is Soren Azorian. As a title, these days I carry CEO of Redline Blockchain and the company, portfolio companies we have. Soren Azorian is a proud dad, proud husband, Christian. God comes first in my life, and second thing is my family, and the third thing is the businesses we are running.
Which is kind of like you want to leave a legacy, right?
I'll do my part, you know. I don't want to just carry what, and for me the legacy is every single day of your life. How do you see things? How do you live things? How do you change things? How do you help other people? How to add value? How to create that environment which is not only you be kind and promote that kindness to everybody else. And as you said, take the risk. Because without it, you're not going to land anywhere.
You know, I love that. I love that way of that philosophy of life. And the main reason that I love that is because a lot of people wake up, and it's happening a lot lately with like this zombie lifestyle, like whatever comes and you don't have a plan, and so afraid to fail.
Yeah.
Which is the only way forward, is to fail. And I always like to talk to our guests about their journey, like where you started, how you become who you are now, and what you plan to do to become the person that you imagine to be.
Correct.
So tell us a little bit about how you started. I know that you had a telecom company in the past. How that worked, how that happened.
Our journey, I was born in Iran. I'm Armenian, Armenian Christian from if you know about Armenian history, we had genocide in 1915, and then 1.5 million Armenians were killed. And so imagine, keep that one in the back of your mind, and I'll tell you why I said that. Most of our grandparents and our fathers and mothers are moved from Armenia by force to different countries. And you can see right now Armenians in Argentina, Armenians in Brazil, Armenians in US, Armenians in God knows where.
Like everywhere, yeah.
Mainly, we have 2 million Armenians living in Armenia, and we have over 10 million of them living outside of Armenia.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's too small country. And it's been forced between Russia, Iran, and all other countries, in Turkey and Azerbaijan, and on and on. So I was born in Iran because my parents were born in Iran because their grandpa and grandma came. My grandpa came from Armenia to Iran. And in 2000, I came to U.S. 25 years ago with $300 in my pocket.
That's it.
And that's it. That's it. Just like, and from the day 3, I was working. And I would say I'm privileged to have a few of the languages back me up. So I was born in the country which speaks different languages, and I was Armenian descent and speaking Farsi, going to school, learning Arabic, and then Turkish was something which is like we learned because of the grandpa were all talking also the second and third language. So at the age of 10, I'm already 4 languages. And then I just came to US, and I started working with Interprint USA with a background of computer, hardware, networking, and software was like very little part of my life before. I start very old days, and we were not doing the smart contract those days, but we were actually doing some sort of programming. So I always loved the computer and the science behind of it. In 2003, I started our telecom communication you mentioned, and how that happened is I work in a company as a salesperson. Literally, I got hired because I need the money, and they were giving $10 per hour, and I was like, oh my God, I can make $10 per hour to time, which is like the pay was, I believe, $3.75. The national pay per hour was $3.75. So they're giving $10.
Yeah.
I went to interview. The guy said, all you have to do is call the people and tell them this is the promotion you have to sell. I said,
seems easy, right?
That is it. You call the office. You pay $10 per hour for this. Say, oh, actually, we will pay also commission. And I was like,
nice.
How much commission? I said, you know what? As much as you sell, your commission is going to grow and you're just going to get more money. So that's what I did. So I was clocking in 3 p.m. and to 9 p.m., 6 hours, non-stop calling.
So you were like a telemarketer kind of thing?
Yeah, 100%. And then after probably 3 months, my quota was so high, it didn't make sense for them to keep me as a salesperson. And so they put me as a regional manager.
Did you have any selling experience prior to that?
I love talking to people.
Okay.
I love communication, and from the day one, I promised myself, if I don't add value, if I'm not selling what I know I'm going to do good to you, I will not sell it. It was great because imagine those days, I don't know if you guys remember, probably some of the audience maybe remember, those days if you want to call international, your cost will be per minute $3 an hour, $4. If we want to call Cuba, good luck, $12 an hour.
Yeah.
And then imagine our team was offering 70 cents, 80 cents per minute. And then it was like kind of like slam dunk. But still, we had people on the call. If you're giving for free also, they wouldn't be able to do it. Like we call it right now Democrats. If you give them $1, they have a hard time to sell it in 50 cents.
Right.
But give it to some other guys, they will sell it for $2 easily. So that's how I started it. And then within the first year, I became the regional manager, and then I started training other people. When I was training other people, that time, most of the telecom communication companies, they were casting other company, and especially the directors. So it was a competition. Everybody was trying to, just hijack the best sellers of the other companies. And I got a couple of offers.
Whoa, I imagine that was very competitive.
Yeah, it was crazy. Especially you speaking all the languages, and it's a B2C market. Everyone wants to have piece of this, activities. So you're just taking me to telecom days, which I'm gonna take off of that for years right now. But that's how I started, and then I went and I got a couple of offers from different companies, and I said, if these guys see the value in me, why I don't see it myself? And so I just went and got one of the subcontract from the resellers, and I quit.
Branch off.
I quit, and I just what happened is my team was really on that time depend on me. As a leader, I said, you know what? I don't have the money. I just have barely myself and pay the rent. If you guys want to join, come and join with me. And then we open up the company, we give you the share of the company, and we go. And that's what we did. And we never took.
That was innovative too, though. I mean, to offer that to the people that come with you.
Correct. So sometimes the best strategy is no strategy.
Which is risk. Is
correct,
a risk.
Absolutely. It's just like when your back is on the wall and you have just one way to go, you just got to push forward. You just cannot think it differently, right? That's how we start telecom and grew the company to from 0 client to 280,000 clients in a span of 7 years. We built multiple millions on a monthly basis, open up the office in Philippines, 2-story office, Nicaragua for Spanish market, Armenia for Armenian, Russian, India, back office support, U.S. offices, and all of that was glory and great until it came down to 2000, I believe, around 11, 12. And the market changed. With
the Wi-Fi connection.
WhatsApp,
Skype,
right. OneEdge, and all other technological voice over IP providers. Right. They started, promoting more, and people got better access to Wi-Fi and the broadcasting of the different kind of communication levels. So we have end up closing that entire thing, and We moved on. We moved on.
Question: do you see it coming? The VoIP technology?
No, it doesn't. But the thing is, actually, we are, our mutual friend Steven and I, we have a different business, and we're talking about maybe GSM-based, decentralized phone service, which I have years of experience on that, and we may have something coming up, but not the way it used to be set up. But most of the communications right now, let's say if you're making a phone call international, it's terminating or originating based on the voice over IP, and that is over there.
So how you okay, you say, because this is what happened to a lot of us, like, okay, this era is over. How do you start all over again? Like, how you shifted from what you were doing to something like...
Imagine you, and that time I was blessed. I have twins. They're 13 years old right now. One boy, one girl.
Congrats.
I love them. Thank you. The time which we shut down the company, God blessed me with twins. Just imagine.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so you're telling about the necessities of life, and now imagine one hand you have to put them to sleep, the other hand in your head is like,
what do I do next?
Exactly. So, but it didn't take much longer. So I'm entrepreneur, meaning the real meaning of entrepreneur is you cannot stop.
Right.
If you stop and you get comfortable, and everybody will take a rug under your feet. So you just gotta go for it, right? And what I know is talking to people and communication. And I'm a person, if I want to learn something, I will dive deep and start learning. And I saw in this podcast, we have lots of books. I just literally, but one of my mentors is Jim Rohn. Probably most of your audiences, they would know. I wasn't privileged enough to see him in person, but I got the second best, Darren Hardy.
Oh, great.
Yeah, Darren has been in my life for over 10, 12 years. I've been part of their teams. I went to San Diego for a couple of the 3 days.
The masterminds,
and I'm still part of those groups. I don't go for activities anymore, but I literally every single day in the morning, if you look at my podcast, every single day, Darren Hardy is over there.
Now that you mentioned me, how important it is to have that mindset from your perspective, like. Because I know what Hard teaches, but it's a skill that you have to acquire.
Let me ask you a question to answer that question. How often you take shower?
Every day.
Exactly. Why?
Yeah. Because I'm in the street, get dirty, pollution, whatever.
When are you in the
refresh.
street? When are you in the street or with the people, or what do you get from them?
Well, at that level, vibrations, energy, whatever frequency they're operating on, you can catch some of that.
Correct. So good vibe, bad vibes. Right. Crazy people, good people, kindness, worse stuff. And what do you need to be able to clean that up?
Detox. You have to
mentally detox, right?
Right.
Yeah. So why I asked that question with the question is because some people think motivation is just a raw magic. We're all talking or reading a book and forgetting about it. It's a part of your life. So if you're a good person, if you're an average, regular person which gets up in the morning and doesn't think about harming other people or bombing the places, you get up in the morning and said, I'm going to do good. I'll be a right person. I'll be a righteous person. I will help the people. I will help the companies. I will help the friends and family members, right? So for that, you need to be motivated enough to be able to do this. But again, we're back to Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn said, we have to be careful because if you're motivating the wrong people, I don't want to, maybe, can I say the words here? No filters, right?
Yeah.
So if you're motivating the idiot, now you have motivated idiot.
Right.
And so you have to be careful who are you motivating. And it is necessity. I think it's a part of your life. And when you're doing it every single day, it becomes part of your skin. It becomes part of who you are, your identity. I don't see myself anymore beside this. I just cannot understand Soren without the version of being that motivational person who wants to just literally go for the best of the things. And for that, I have to learn from people. As I said, those guys were the mentors, but But again, after a while, you find the mentorship inside you. Last night we had a dinner here in Casco and with a bunch of great people. And I see this young guy was talking about lots of motivational things, and I hear he's still listening to other people, right? And then my 2 cents was, if you are listening to other people, you cannot you cannot hear the potential you have inside you.
Yeah.
So that shift being done in me for years right now.
I share that. I understand where you're coming from. You have to come to a point where like you have internalized all this and you make it your own, because sometimes you find yourself in a spot where like you have nobody else to lean on yourself. And one thing that I like about what you said before is, okay, you have to start all over again. Yeah. You have to bet on yourself.
Huh?
Right?
Who else you want to bet?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happens with some the entrepreneurs in their journey. They face an obstacle, and if you don't catch yourself before you play that victim game, is all over.
Yeah.
So I like what you said about like have that mindset that you have to feed every day, and detox is just as important. And in order to move forward, push through all that negative energy, right? So moving forward now, you have found a solution to everything that's going on with the technology and finance, and it's called REDFi.
Kind of, yeah.
Tell us about that. First of all, how the idea came about, what problem do you see in the market that you say, okay, we need to find a solution for this, and how you came up with the whole structure of it. Tell us about that.
Yeah, back to that, I call myself technologist. Technology is in my DNA, probably. At least my DNA changed 5 years ago to do this. And you know the background of the telecom already. I just told you guys. And I was traveling after Nicaragua. We had a huge office and lots of people working for us in Nicaragua for telecom, and we had to shut it down. Because as a U.S. citizen, we cannot travel to Nicaragua. It's not safe. Government is not good. So I had to find the alternative. Yeah. So, and I was trying to find an alternative. And a friend of mine said, go to Peru. The other friend of mine, which is a great attorney in the U.S., he said, have you looked at Panama?
Just like that.
Just like that, literally. And do I want to say crazier stuff? Okay. All right. So how do you search? Let's say that. Like, most of us are searching to Google, right? I search in YouTube.
All right.
Yeah. So it's been years, my thing. And I didn't know anyone in Panama. I know people in Mexico, Nicaragua, Colombia, some of them, Panama, zero. Literally zero. Nobody.
And I'm always surprised by people like, oh, I came to Panama just because I looked it up on Google. I'm like, really?
Look what I did. So I have to open a call center, right? And our call center is not like kind of small call center. We have a bunch of calls are coming in and out. We have to call the people. We have to take care of this stuff. And I saw Pro Panama advertising on YouTube. And Alex and their team, which is right now they're all friends, they pop on the YouTube, literally. I watched first video, second video, third video, fourth video, and by the end they put their phone number for WhatsApp and their email address. What I do, immediately email, hi, I need to open a corporation in Panama and open a call center. With my, I thought, nobody gonna reply anyways, right?
I know, nobody would take you seriously with
5 minutes later, Alex is messaging me on a WhatsApp. Hi, Soren. Whoa. My name is Alex. I'm with Pro Panama, and not the government, Pro Panama, private, and would be more than happy to help you. Do you have a minute to just jump on a call? I said, oh my God, if these guys are good, that they can respond this way, because for me the time is matter, right? Guess what happened? And she said, this is what you have to have, this one, that one, FBI background check, blah, 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 and then just come over and we'll take care of it. And I said, can I come this Monday? Literally, it's been 4 days later, right? I said, can you take care of every paperwork you need? I said, I'll just get it done in 24 hours. I literally turned off the call, got my information, Went there, flying Monday to Panama. Guess what? 2 weeks later, we have a corporation in Panama. 3 weeks later, we have an office in Credit Corp on 31st floor. And we hired the first 7 people without even knowing who we are hiring, by the way. And then we had we'll talk about the hiring later. But don't hire fast, but fire fast.
Yeah,
So, but
exactly.
anyways, so we hired and we started the office. I came for telecom. I stayed for technology. And how it happened is during the visit, thanks to Alex and team, I always been, just thankful of those guys in Panama here. They introduced me to lots of people, lots of great people, from the banking sector to, we didn't have a crypto crowd at that time. We had a few of these people which we all shared. And I came, and then that was a time I was very much interested about the Bitcoin and Ethereum.
You were just like deep
I
in
just like
yourself,
playing around like
yeah.
this, like, buying a little bit here, buying a little bit there, losing some stuff here, losing some stuff there.
Of course.
And I was mesmerized by Ethereum, their EVM, and the entire smart contract, and they just do, and then also the newcomer Polygon, the layer 2. And it says, oh my God, this is what we can, help with, which is in a second we get there. When one of our conversations, Diego pro-Panama government, now pro-Panama private became pro-Panama government. We've been endorsed by them, and et cetera. We are having a sushi in Makoto.
All right.
And then he said, do you know how many people trying to sell their fiat and crypto to fiat and fiat to crypto, and they cannot because no bank allows them? I said, first I thought, it's like, we maybe find a solution locally here in Panama from the payment services gateways or local bank to be able to custody this service, and then we will be able to use a rail from an exchanges to be able to connect. After soul searching for a few months, it's just like nobody's doing it.
But this came from your knowledge on telecommunication. You didn't know anything about banking up to this point, right?
Zero banking. I never thought I'm going to start, doing finance and banking now. Never. But again,
that's interesting.
When we are into something which is a knowledge requires, I told you I'll double down and understand what exactly is. And I'm fortunate enough to associate myself with lots of great people in different kind of sectors. As you see in my LinkedIn and everywhere else, and just shout out if you guys not following me on LinkedIn, just follow me on LinkedIn.
Exactly.
I share lots of things over there, and have a great people which I can learn. Not only I can learn, I can actually ask them to help. So the issue was nobody can easily on-ramp, off-ramp in Panama. These days we have lots of options, but still REDFi is better one.
Of course.
But the thing is, we really didn't have. And they had a meeting between us and the pro-Panama government and the Banco Nacional, Mr. Javier and their team. And I asked them very straightforward, like, how can we help to build something similar to what other companies and other countries have? They said, until we have a regulation and compliance to the regulation, we cannot allow this happen. But we're not against technology. If you can find a way to help and do this, just do it. That is his word, the man himself.
All right.
And I said, yes, sir. Like, I'll listen. But it wasn't easy to listen and do, because if you remember 4.5, 5 years ago, we went through this entire changes and everything was going up, and all of a sudden FTX and all other companies are just like start destroying the people, and so many retail people went out of the crypto.
Right.
And now you saw last week with Rock Pool for Melee and the meme coins, and so it was an easy journey. And we tried to work with a couple local fintech companies in Panama. They were just new and starters, and they couldn't help us with the API integrations. They didn't have any sort of SDKs to build on top. And most of the bankings, right now they're getting better in Panama, but most of them are traditional banks.
Right, yes.
With the system which is 10, 20 years old. And you cannot just basically build a new technology based on that. It takes lots of time. And if even technology is possible, the mentality of the people who are running this old traditional TradFi companies, it's completely different. So I was literally thinking and just went back to US, and now we have a dilemma. All right, so if you build a rail, who will do the custodian? Who will be the company we can just basically build it? I didn't want to build a DEX. It wasn't decentralized. I was thinking about decentralized because we're touching the fiat. People's money needs to be custodial. We need to have insurance for it, and et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
Along this conversation, we got to know a company called Prime Trust. Why, yes.
Really?
And almost a year we built on the Prime Trust. We were the first. Binance was working with them, a bunch of other companies. So it was like a great, shining, house on top of the hill. Everybody was going there. They're supposed to be a charter trust in Nevada. They have all the licenses, MTLs. We signed a contract. We start building. It took us like 8-9 months, and we had everything. I was here and everywhere else talking. Guys, don't even think of the banking, don't even talk about DEXs, don't think of the self-custody, trust the trust, because trust never goes down. Trust companies are blah, 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 blah. And imagine, now you're talking about the changes in life.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. 2020, as of today, today's what? Today is February.
February 26th.
2025.
2025.
Those days. July 2023, I think it was 19th of July, if I remember correctly. We provisioned hundreds of clients. And people are buying, selling, transferring, Swift, ACH, FedWire, and all and on and on. And middle of the night, I get the message, literally 10:30 at night.
Whoa.
Pacific time in Los Angeles, and I get the message, which is cease and desist letter for Prime Trust. State of Nevada put the cease and desist letter, stopping all the operation, and they find they mingling the funds for the clients and their corporation. And first we thought it's a choke point 2.0, choke 2.0, which is like we went through this for crypto companies. And that was a time banks were closing down and this entire thing was like crazy. And we thought, you know what, maybe they're attacking another crypto company. And
that's the first stage.
Yeah,
denial.
but guess what? I just literally logged into our platform, see every account is frozen red. On the back end, this is like, because we were build API, so it automatically just calls the API, comes back, right? They froze everybody. Great thing happened is we didn't have a client money. It was just our depository requirements over there. So people were just buying and selling it most of the time. And so they were not lost as far as the clientele. But for us, and especially for me, I doubled on every single thing.
Right.
Money, time, the whole thing was gone. And because I focused on just building this, I didn't want to have any other business. Literally, whatever else we had, which would quite figure out.
Right, just focus.
Just literally focus on this because this was our new, sheriff in town, and we have to just do this only. Yeah, so those days were hard, and I'm still thinking about it.
What was the first thing that went through your mind when you saw that? Like,
I thought the world is over.
Right.
Like literally, like things are gonna go bad. Like, and it's like kind of, it's like, you open your eyes. Sometimes you see you see a nightmare, and you open your eyes, and like kind of, you just wanna stay up, right?
Right.
But the mind tricks you and says, you know what, close your eyes, it may go away, or you want to see what happens by the next.
That's denial.
I was like, you know what, I want to see what is the next after this. Yeah, it was a really hard 90 days. I have to let the office go, people, downsizing it, and did a lot of other stuff, like, just like challenges personal finances, to a point which is like, I gotta go back to home and tell my wife, honey, we may not have good things coming up for a month. And
what was her response?
You know what she said? She's my rock. It's just like, she said, who built all this? You did. Put God first and just go build it again. We're here to support you. Yeah.
That shocked you, I bet.
I was literally in panic mode, like, and I have another great friend, Tony. Shout out to Tony. And
All right.
Tony is a very successful entrepreneur. Built $100 million corporations, sold them, exit, and now he's with different kind of businesses. He was the first guy I called, 6 a.m. I believe, or something like that. And hey Tony, this is what happened. He said, "You can make it."
Just like that.
Just like that.
Relaxed voice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's pretty calm. He's like, oh my God. I tell everybody you're pretty calm when you talk, and he said Tony is pretty calm too. And he was traveling actually. He was like almost boarding to an airplane and just like said, "Do you need me to stop and sit down and talk to you?" I said, "No, just go and do whatever you have to. We'll talk." I said, as soon as I just get to my destination, I'll call you. I'm a person, I cannot stop. Like this is not easy for me to say right now. Maybe some people, they say, "Oh yeah, you're privileged, or you've been in the U.S. and stuff." Remember, I came with nothing.
$300 in a pocket.
And then when you build something, you're depending on that things which you build. You don't want to lose it. You just want to keep going. So, as I said again, for the second and third time, I don't have any choice. I have to push forward, right?
Okay, so REDFi is still here. How do you pivot?
It was completely gone. Entire thing from because we have to shut down. We had lots of people which is they're working for codes and everything else. Now we have to worry about it. What I have done is few of the people which I need really to build this, and they've been in my life for a long time. They stayed without getting paid. They said, "We're gonna build this." And
they believed in the vision that you had.
Like, the thing is, like, some of the thing which is like, I was lucky not only to have my wife and my kids, my family, I have a really great people next to me. The people which they didn't do it for money. They may get paid way more somewhere else to work, but they stick with the vision, and then, oh boy, they're enjoying the ride. it's a crazy ups and downs every single time. But again, I forced myself to focus on things differently this time around. Now, if you go technically, as I told you, we were banking only on the provider, one provider to carries everything. These days, our new infrastructure, which I'm going to talk about it, REDFi is a one-stop shop right now for fiat or cryptocurrency, right? Doesn't matter where you are. You are in Panama, or you're in Philippines, or South Korea, or United States, individual or business, institution, family offices. Anyone who needs a on-ramp, off-ramp, or anyone who needs a custodian, or anyone who needs a send and receive a payment for crypto or fiat, building a counterparty just like your bank. So think of us as your traditional bank, cross crypto exchange, plus custodial wallet, everything in one place. When you pass the KYC through us, or KYB for businesses, automatically you will be assigned with this bank account with your routing number, account number in the US dollar. And then so like, let's say you want to get paid from PayPal or something else, you just put your US dollar account number and routing number, you get paid. And now in a second you can click and get a crypto, send it to wherever you want to do. You can receive a crypto payment, BTC, USDT, Ethereum, Pol, Solana, every one of them. And then you can just basically sell it to us. We have a high liquidity built into the system already. And you cash out and send the wire transfer to your bank account, credit card, multi-bank, whatever it is. And then
it's very seamless. Like the whole process is
possible. We cut all the fat, all the thing which is you don't have to know. Like one of the things which we share against Steven, we're talking about the account abstractions and how easy you have to bring the Web 2 people to Web 3s. And the new era is, the trick is, they don't even need to know. You know what I mean? You drink a water, if that water is coming from from a, let's say, a place which is, the system is built on, let's say, Web 3 or Web 2, just you don't care.
Yeah,
you just want to have that water.
You care about the experience.
Just like
it's fast for you. You don't have to.
Correct. And now these things are more transparent. Like, you can check the ledger online, on chain. You can just basically see the transfers. You understand it. Custodials who are the custodials? Do they have insurance? Do they not? Is Soren and Tally going to take my money, or is basically sitting on a ledger of the bank which has FDIC insurance, and on and on and on. If you go around and look all the solution by yourself, like let's say self-custody or let's say third-party custody, bank outside of the US or inside of the US, exchanges outside of the US. And so when you have all of them in one place, you're not worried about who are you dealing with. What you're worried is your client paying on time?
Exactly.
Are you receiving the money? Are you sending the money to people? So take those things, frictions out, and build up. That's what REDFi means. It's frictionless ecosystem for these people.
Right. You have, like in traditional banking system, it takes like 3 days or 4 days in some cases to transfer.
T1, T2s, T3s, yeah.
With REDFi, it's like right away, right?
Crypto is right away. Fiat, in some cases, could be T1, T2. But imagine yesterday, how you guys are in this part of the world, how hard it is right now to send them money to Colombia for businesses. And it takes at least 2 to 3 days, right?
Yeah.
Even though you have, let's say, good 3-4 days. If I tell you same day settlement to Colombia, sometimes in 15 minutes.
Same day.
Same day. Fiat transactions.
I mean,
So it doesn't happen for everything, for everybody. There are average, if your portfolio is correct and you have, let's say, your KYC is built and you are sending and receiving the payment with a trusted partners or counterparties, or you're paying a bill, or you're receiving invoice and you're just paying your invoice. So the compliance is the biggest case for us, right? We build a huge compliance team behind us. So when you're check and you're sending the money, if the money is kosher, the transmittery, the receiving party is kosher, it should be done in a day. Panama to USA to Panama, it's less than a day. And in US, it's the same day. So because it's a Fed wire and ACH. Settlements are average at 2 p.m. it's settled, and if not, next day will be settled if you're sending something after 2 p.m. So this starts next day, and then you have to count either same day or +1, +2. Countries like Dubai from US.
That's understandable.
Yeah, so when you are dealing with REDFi, you have to think of it as a US banking plus international. So if it's, let's say, you're using SWIFT for international transaction, transmit of the money, then you're using SWIFT. Count +1, +2. Dubai, let's say, you're sending to Dubai, +2. Sometimes +3, depends on the bank in the Dubai. Singapore, Japan, European countries, either a +1 or +2. Armenia, which is like a small country, most of our developers are there, they're getting paid next day. So like basically we send them and next day they have it in their bank account.
As international as it is, then this is catered to businesses more than individuals, right?
We are focused on businesses more than individuals, but our individuals are not regular users, which they can be. Let's say if you are...
No, the reason I ask is because some individuals are adopting, crypto for regular, transactions.
Correct.
And the ones that are like, they want to have that ease of getting into the crypto world and have their own accounts and everything, right? So that's the reason I asked. But if you're being international, it's more business.
So we are more institution first, businesses second, and then most of our actual users are developers. They work for a company. Let's say they get paid in Ethereum or USDT, and they need the cash to pay their bills.
Right.
And the beauty of this is you don't even need to even transfer to your bank. So let's say you want to pay some mortgage in Panama, and bank has information of your mortgage company. All you do is create a counterparty and send the mortgage money directly. You don't even have to transfer the bank to that one. You can just immediately pay. Or if the companies you are working with, or let's say you buy some stuff with the crypto, right? I'm guessing. You don't need to just basically send to bank to somebody else. Just like transfer directly from your REDFi account to whoever you pay. And also, we're giving them free invoicing from our REDFi. You create the invoice and poof, send it out.
I saw that.
All inside, But we are not the place you can trade the meme coins. We're not the place you can do the, let's say, spot trading. We don't do any of those.
Okay.
And so if you are, let's say, a client wants to receive a small amount of micropayment, maybe our platform is not built for that.
Right.
At least not this version, not yet.
Okay.
So, but if you're an import-export company, you're working in free zones, and you want to, let's say, receive a payment, international payment through crypto, and then you're thinking, well, how can I help me to cash out, to send the money to my to my bank so I can pay my bills in dollars? then REDFi is yours.
Great.
If you are an international company and you have 10, 20, 30 people working all over the world, and you want to pay your salaries, everyone, without going crazy, go different banks, different transaction, REDFi is your answer. If you are a family office, and you are creating a smart contract for real world assets and everything else, and you need to fund that real world assets smart contract, or basically take the people's money and put into some solution which you want to give them the yield or whatever you're selling them, you can use
I did not
REDFi.
know that. Okay.
And
Great.
and on and on. So think of it, if you last night in the event we had a few people, they're selling high clothing line in all over the world. They need a banking and fiat and cryptocurrencies.
Exactly. Yeah.
We are for those people. So every time you feel like you need to transact, it's very simple. Go to redfi.io/VIP, and then individual or business account. And then just simply, and I'm sure you guys are going to put the link on this somewhere down here, somewhere up there. But they can just go there and test it out. And if you have a question or you want to talk to one of our team members, just open a chat and do it. Right now, we are building our own AI agent chat box and our own backend and CRMs and the whole crazy things.
You can ask anything.
Yeah, so you can literally ask anything and then get answer. And then if that answer is not satisfactory for your needs, maybe other solutions we offer will be. Maybe it's part of one of our portfolio companies or things which we are building that's going to help you.
Now that you said that,
Yes, sir.
or your portfolio,
Yeah.
takes us to another branch of that was born out of REDFi, which is Redline Lab. RedlineLab.io.
Yes, sir.
It's based for what I discover on Purple Cow, which is like,
Seth Gordon.
be remarkable.
Exactly.
And it seems that we have fallen into this complacency of like being average. You just want to get to market quick. And innovation seems to be a process where people want to create the next rocket like Elon Musk, but it doesn't have to be that, right? You're looking for something special that can change people's life and add value. So,
Correct.
First of all, tell us what is Redline Lab and what do you look for in these startups, that your process to say, okay, this is a Purple Cow.
Yeah, so the entire thesis are built under the Redline Blockchain SA, not REDFi. REDFi is a product or byproduct of the Redline Blockchain SA. And Redline Lab is a place which is most of the portfolio companies will be operated under, but again, still under supervision of the Redline Blockchain SA, Panamanian Corporation. We have our compliance officers, our attorneys, accountant, everything in Panama. We are obeying and rules of the Panama. And so Redline Lab, as you said, redlinelab.io is a place people can go see it, contact with us. What I going back to the last 10, 15, 20 years of being entrepreneur, why did I miss all these actions? Because what we did was we built the service, we built the product. We never built the table. We never, like, a little bit back. It's like kind of, imagine you and I are sitting as a seat over here. Next time, somebody else going to come to sit in this holy place and then talk about their services, right? But this podcast room, this table, is a place people are going to come gather. The player's going to change, but the infrastructure stays.
Okay.
So take that one to what I've done for the years in my life. Services not built fundamentally with like going deep into the ecosystem. So, and while thinking to myself, I said, what we should be doing to not go back or revisit those days? How can we create this ecosystem if for any reason one or two are failing, the ecosystem doesn't fail? Who we have to associate with ourselves with to make sure the network is growing and not, let's say, subtracting from your energy or whatever you're creating it. And the reason of the Redline Lab was just that. So, and then now, you remember a few years ago when ISD was born and you guys were doing it, and we were lucky enough to be part of that tokenization and part of that token buys. Your vision is something similar to what we do, right? You're more into this space right now at the time. We're more thinking of taking Panama to global marketplace. That's what REDFi is, Panamanian product. Everyone from all over the world can use it. And now I look at it, let's say, our friend, well, thanks to you, by the way, Blurify, one of our portfolio companies right now.
Great, yes,
Yes,
absolutely.
Marcus and the team, awesome people.
Shout out to him too.
Yes, and so imagine you said, you remember you guys were in San Francisco, said, Soren, you need to talk to Marcus.
Yep.
Good dude. I listened, right? I listen. I listen a lot.
Yes,
People think I don't listen to people, and I listen. If it's a good thing, I will listen. And so Marcus is one of the portfolio companies. So Marcus is already a global play from Panama. We have Thesaurus. I'm sure you're going to have a conversation.
We're going to have that
Steven.
conversation. Yes.
Real world assets and perfect platform being built with the master on top, Mr. Stephen Clark.
Yes.
And part of our portfolio companies, Dojo Coding. Dojo Coding, based in Costa Rica. Imagine most of the people which they are having trouble going from Web 2 software engineers to Web 3 they don't know what to do. They're lost, and there's no actual authority to teach them. They have to go soul searching, finding a way to learn, and then if they're lucky enough, somebody from Web 3 community will hire them for work. Dojo Coding, you go to Dojo Coding, you learn from transition from Web 2 to Web 3 project. The team sends you to hackathons. You win the hackathon, you come back, you create a team, and we narrow the team. If you have an idea, we will back it up as a launch pad for you, and then you're just going to start your own company through Dojo Coding. Or if you want to work for Web3 companies, we already have a bunch of companies, plus you can apply for so many others which we can refer to. So we're building army of Web 2, Web3, software engineers, architects, anyone who wants to build on this entire era. Salespeople, marketers, all of them all going to be through Dojo Coding. And bunch more. We have CryptoMungie. Last night was the party for CryptoMungie.
The platform.
That CryptoMungie is like I'm a big opponent for the people to learn from the start to end. But if you're learning and you're not earning, that not gonna carry you for a long ride.
Exactly.
So for CryptoMungie, you can start for free. Everyone, from the people from any sort of walk of life. It doesn't matter. If you're rich, not rich, poor. If you want to learn and do something and change your life, you can use the CryptoMungie. And portfolio is bigger. You guys can see the companies, and we just keep adding almost every week, and every 2 weeks we have a new company addition to our Redline lab. We have ABI, Association Blockchain International, which is working with the banks and compliance offices, financieras, all over the LATAM.
But how do you decide that who's going to be part of your ecosystem?
Our focus is on mainly in identity providers. Everything is somehow related to Web3, crypto, blockchain. Most of them, from real-world assets, Thesaurus, to identity, Blurify, to Dojo Coding, software engineering, KYC and AML. Most of the banks, they need to come to this new era. We have that covered. We have BBR, which is, we just signed the LOI this morning, by the way.
Congrats.
Shout out to the team, yes. And BBR will be part of our Redline lab as well. They are software engineers. They're building mainly for educational platforms and DEXs. BBR team will be there, and few more surprises we have coming in.
Great.
And ISD, we're gonna have a conversation again.
Yep.
So we will add more to our portfolio through ISD and a bunch of other companies, great companies. How I decided, I really don't decide it. What we decided to do is, anyone thinks we are attracting enough ecosystem to come be part of it, or need advice from any of the things which we have built so far, they can come and take a look. It's open for everybody, right?
Great.
And then we have a great team. They will be able to handle most of the issues at least happening in this ecosystem. And we can choose based on the two simple things. Is it going to add value to our ecosystem, to the products we have? Maybe you're building something which we don't need to build anymore. You're more than welcome to the ecosystem.
And add value.
Add value. And then second thing is, who are the one running the companies? For me, the entrepreneurs are the most important part. They may fail on the things which we are investing in, but I don't think we will fail on those people, or they will fail us on who they are. And that is the biggest thing which we need to do.
We unfortunately run out of time. It's so, I mean, you live like 20 lives, and we are.
I'm not a cat.
We're so privileged to have you here.
Hey.
Leave us with an advice before we part ways. Leave us with an advice for that entrepreneur, for the startup that is trying to come up with this idea. Because the idea that you start may not be the one that you finish.
Yeah.
It will reveal itself
100%.
on the journey. So what's your best advice? Like this life lesson that carries you?
Just be kind.
Be kind.
Be kind, and people will find a way to come to you and give you back the values you're creating. And you just mentioned it. I'm going to finish with just that. We're not here to be average. We're here to be awesome.
Oh, I love
Anyhow you want to just make it. That's
I
it.
love that.
All right.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
You can check red5.io and also redlinelab.io for more information. I'll really recommend you to go there and find more about how you can add value. If you want to innovate, that's a place also to be. And we encourage you to join our community of disruptors on Telegram as well. Check out our website, isddistrict.com. So until next time, thank you for being here.